most of these sunflowers are looking just about ready to harvest, so that's what we're going to get up to today. Well, I'm standing under our mammoth, Russian mammoth sunflowers. They're a striped sunflower variety, and they got pretty big this year, but they are ready to harvest. So I am going to go ahead and harvest the bulk of these. I notice there's a few that aren't quite ready, but it's rather simple. We're just going to cut off the heads. Sunflowers are kind of an overlooked crop, I guess. Most people grow them more for their ornamental value, but they have a long history, obviously, of being used as, I guess you'd say, like a grain. It's not exactly a grain, but as an actual edible crop. And these, unlike a lot of the black oil sunflower seeds, are more for their eating quality. So this will be a bit of an experiment for us this year, sort of processing and using these, but we're pretty excited to have actually had such a good growth of them. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start with this one. So to harvest, because we will probably use the greens as rabbit food or fodder over the next little while, which is another great thing about them, because obviously the plants haven't completely died back, and this particular variety has massive leaves. So I mean, like, one of those leaves is a lot of food for a rabbit. But I'm going to just come up here, and you can't really see it super well, but and I've just clipped off the head.
Put it next to your head so we can see how big it is.
And this is not our biggest sunflower.
I made you put a sunflower beside your head.
So I'm going to show you, I guess, how you know they're ready to be taken off. So you can see the petals have died back quite a bit. They're still green, and you can leave them longer, but you do run the risk of things eating them on you, or it getting cold and wet, and then they basically molding. You can see each one of these is actually a separate flower. Sunflowers are a bit deceiving because you think of it as this is one big flower, but it's actually hundreds of little flowers that are all together. So this big disc is like a composite, and each one of these, I can break them off, each one of these is the separate flower, and of course at the base of them is the seed. So one thing where you kind of know they're ready to harvest, you can quite easily brush off the little flower ends, which reveals your seeds on the inside.
It's a lot of seeds.
Yes. So I'm going to kind of go through and do this part outside. And you don't want to do too much pressure because you don't want the seeds to pop out. Not yet anyways. But you'll want to put this somewhere, and we'll show you that in a minute. Once you kind of get them harvested, you do want to put them somewhere that they can dry so they get quite a bit of airflow, because sunflowers will mold on you pretty badly if you decide to just leave them in the bucket or whatnot. You'll lose your crop pretty quick. So I got this first one all cleaned up, and that's about what we're going to bring it in the house as. Just kind of want to get as much of the loose bits off. Those doesn't have to be perfect by any means. We just leave it like this because then you've got a kind of a good little almost container to hold it all together rather than having a whole bunch of loose whatever. So temporarily we're just going to put them in this tote so that we can bring them in the house. And
look at the beautiful pattern that one makes. Can you see it? It's like swirls like this, and then that one's like that. It's so pretty. And
it's huge.
It's huge. They just keep getting bigger. This one's huge. We should actually do a thing of figuring out how many seeds are actually in our largest one, because there's like thousands of seeds in each of these. So Chris has all of those ones harvested and in our bucket. And now we only have a few left over here on this side. I think, what do we have, about 8 plants maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah.
That one is definitely the biggest.
Yes, but our biggest ones are definitely over here. So this is exciting. We're not going to reveal the box yet. So we're done.
There's the
tote full of those sunflower seed heads.
We're going to put them on the back of the truck here just for the afternoon.
In the nice sun, on the black.
And bring them in the house before
the rain comes?
Well, the rain or the dew gets on them. Just to dry them out a little bit.
So how much do you think? How much do you think it weighs? 40 pounds?
I'm going to say 30.
30 pounds is his guess.
Probably more than that.
I don't know. We'll weigh him before the end of the video.
And this.
Look at the size of this beauty. That is our biggest, bestest one. Wow! That's awesome.
I don't know, as we were doing this, we were kind of thinking about it. A lot of like historic paintings and stuff, we were joking, it's like they all have geese and sunflowers in them. But it's kind of one of those things that, I don't know, their utility as a food item seems to be not forgotten, because we still eat them, but nobody really grows them for that purpose like they used to.
We are. I'm going to make spits.
Yeah, these ones we're going to eat. We were also thinking like there's a good potential to grow a lot of chicken food out of these, so that'll be a discussion for next year.
But let's lay them all out and let them dry for a bit. Well,
it's a little dark in here, but we are now in our grow room. We basically are done our sunflower harvest, or most of it. There's a few flowers still out there that they're not quite ready, but we'll probably go back and see if we can pick them a little bit later. But we have the bulk of it done, and as you saw, we let them sit out for the day on the tailgate of the truck out in the sun, which helped dry them out. Now, it didn't completely dry them out. So one of the big things I will say about sunflowers, and this is kind of from recent experience, you want to keep them somewhere where they've got good airflow all the way around them. This right here is a black oil sunflower head that we harvested earlier this year. We actually had two kinds, and the black oils were quite a bit earlier than the Russian mammoths, so we're pretty sure they're going to be pure, but that's a whole other topic. Some of our harvest we didn't lay out, and they molded pretty quick. The rest of the harvest we brought down here and put on the wire racks we have down here, and as you can see, they dried out really nicely. So I'll show you kind of how we have our mammoth sunflower heads set out. So there they are. We basically have them so they're not really touching the wall, and so they're not touching each other. And the wire racks give them excellent air circulation. This room stays fairly dry, actually, when it's not full of plants. We've got a dehumidifier down here too, so the basement's actually an excellent spot for this. And there's the added bonus of we don't have to worry about anything trying to eat them, because we don't have any rodents in here. We thought about maybe leaving them out in the greenhouse, but we thought, well, kind of risky, something might come and take them on us. So anyways, they're down here, and they'll probably sit down here for a while before we break them up, but that's kind of it for today. But as you can see, you can harvest a lot of sunflower seeds from a reasonably small patch, and there's so many things you could do with them. So on that note, we will be back talking about sunflowers and sunflower seeds at some point, but for now, these just have to dry.